Hello, everybody.
Yes, indeed.
We are back, y'all, with another episode of Life Unfiltered. Heal that shit. This is the podcast where we fearlessly navigate the complexities of life, love, grief, and the extraordinary journey of healing. We invite you to join us on this raw and unfiltered exploration as we share our personal stories, triumphs, and challenges to inspire and uplift. We know that this world constantly encourages us to mask our struggles, and we're choosing not to do that. We want to lead with love and vulnerability because it's time to collectively address our own shit and have some real conversations. So, we are here to voice the things that you might not have verbalized or the things you might not have even thought about so that we can get to the root of the shit and heal. So 2024 is the year of popping that shit. Okay, so we're gonna run down who we are and what we do. So hello, my name is Kimberland. I am an educational advocate, activist, consultant, school improvement specialist. I'm a visionary, motivational speaker. I'm a professional frolicker. I'm an intuitive melanated life coach. I'm an expat who is in a new location tonight.
Yes, indeed. Where
Yes,
you at?
I am back in Colombia.
Hey.
I am back in Colombia and excited to be here tonight. I'm one of your hosts. So what up?
Hey. Shout out to Kimberly. Okay, well, my name is Bianca Goolsby. I'm a digital strategist, activist, and consultant. I am a private investigator and a receipt collector, so please put some respect on my name. I am the
Mm.
founder of Teaching for the Culture, where we transform, educate, advocate, coach, and heal. I'm also an intuitive melanated life coach. I am a digital nomad, currently working and traveling wherever there's Wi Fi, baby. Right now, I'm in Tallahassee. And we are empowering others to find their freedom and fulfillment. And I just want to leave people better than how I found them. So let's go tonight, baby.
Let's get it. So as y'all are coming on, make sure that you go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know where you are watching us from. We are international and all over the place. So definitely check in and let us know where you are joining us from tonight. All right. So we got some keys, Bianca, that we need to tell the peoples about.
Yes, indeed. We operate under three keys. Okay. We operate by three keys here, that is accountability, transparency, and integrity. Okay. And we also have some community agreements that we need to all gather around and have a conversation about. And so, what you can expect from us is that we're going to honor these three keys that I just told you about. We are here to keep it real. We are speaking freely, and we might cuss a little bit or we might cuss a lot. Okay. So, the time is now 8:05. Okay. PM Eastern Standard Time. So, if you have children in the room, you might want to have, some earphones. Maybe not. That's your business, okay? But we're just telling you, we speaking the truth, how it is, and we're not censoring us, okay? And what we can expect from you. hmm All right, so hate speech and comments, they're not welcome here. They're not allowed. We are a part of the Block and Be Blessed committee. Okay, so we don't want any issues. So please engage with us as we go along on this journey. We're not experts. We're just having the conversation and facilitating the conversation. And we want you to participate in this journey with us. Bring people with you. If you see someone in the comments, interact with them, say hi. Also, tag people, share, follow, subscribe. All of that is very important because together we're committed to doing the work to heal. So, what updates do we have, Kimberly?
So, quick updates. We have been busy. getting everything lined up and such, and trying to streamline where everything is. So tonight we are broadcasting on our new Facebook page. So Life Unfiltered. No, it's Heal That Shit. Sorry, it's the Facebook page. Heal That Shit. No I though, because they don't like that. And then on our YouTube page, Heal That Shit, spelled out SHIT. So we are streaming there. So we really want you all to go and connect there, because that's where we're really going to build the community for this particular show. And of course, we share it like to our own platforms and such, but we want to make sure that you are connected with us. So we do have Heal That Shit on IG, on TikTok, on YouTube. We also have Patreon and on Facebook. So please do connect, subscribe, like, follow, share, comment, all the things,
All of it.
notification button, all the things that are supposed to be said,
Yes.
so that you all can find where we are. And again, lead people to where this community will be.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
indeed. So, having said that, we do want to do a spirit check, and I am very interested in how your spirit is feeling today, and I'm also even wondering about mine, because I don't know that I'm conscious about that. So, a spirit check is a way for us to really honor our feelings and to just acknowledge what we are bringing into this space tonight. So we switched up a little bit to make it a little bit more accessible for anyone who wants to participate in the comments, and we do invite you to. So just pause for a moment and take a deep breath and let us know how your spirit is feeling tonight. So we have some heart emojis that you can put into the chat. If you can't put in the hearts, you can type the color if you want. So green is I'm absolutely wonderful. Life is great. Blue, I'm good. I don't have any complaints. Purple, I'm okay. This could be better. Things could be better. And yellow or gold, I'm not doing so well. I need support. So take a moment again to scan your spirit and let us know how you are feeling today. And I'm going to ask you directly, Bianca, how are you feeling today?
So I put a purple heart because I'm okay. Things could be better. And I have had a very revealing week.
Mm,
Things have came to me in such clarity that I thank God for it. However, it is so overwhelming to process.
mm.
What about you?
I think I am between blue and purple. Um, I don't necessarily have any outright complaints per se, but I also think I'm still getting settled in my new environment, being back here in Colombia. So there are some things that, for instance, like I haven't really been eating like I know that I should, and all that kind of stuff. So those types of things could be better. But yes, I'll say kind of like a bluish purple. I don't know when you mix blue and purple. I don't know what you get, but that's where I am.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's get into it. You kind of you kind of alluded at some stuff, and a lot of this I don't even know if I know. So let us talk about what has been going on, because it's been a lot, and where do we even start?
I think for me is just talking about grief as a process and grieving relationships,
Mm,
grieving change of environment, grieving just connectivity that you once had that you no longer have. There was a lot, there is a lot that I have been grieving in such a short amount of time.
mm,
And when we were doing one of our co working sessions, I broke down and I can't wait to be able to share that vulnerable moment of transparency that I was sharing with you about how life has been lifing. And even in that, God sends reminders to let you know that you are not alone.
Hmm.
And
What kind of reminders have you been getting?
oh my gosh. So, connections that would come, different people out of nowhere that would provide affirmation and
Mm,
love and words of encouragement that you didn't think they were even paying attention.
mm,
It felt really good to be affirmed. It felt
mm,
really good to be loved in places that I didn't think would happen. Reminders such as angel numbers, again,
mm,
seeing those as I am praying and meditating on next steps, and then seeing signs, visual elements of like I'm on the right path, I need to keep going.
mm,
I have truly been practicing stillness and trying to just stay focused on the assignment. And even in this grief process, it has been very challenging for me. It has been challenging waking up some days and feeling so alone, and then other days feeling so loved, and then
mm,
just having the complexities of it all, of just thinking about the ups and downs of it all. It is very overwhelming. Processing the pivot that I'm dealing with life and business, and facing these challenges head on, girl. This has been an experience for me, and it's a journey that I thank God that I'm taking. But also, it's tough.
mm.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was talking to my cousin earlier today, and we were talking about this same process of grief and, reminding ourselves one that grief is not about death. Grief is about loss. So all of those things that you just named, like, business transitions and relationships and where you're living and like all of that still goes into that grief box. And sometimes people don't think of it that way. So they're not treating it as if I'm grieving. They're kind of just like, just keep it moving, just keep it pushing or whatever, and not actually honoring and holding space for the grief and for the actual feelings. So I wonder, what has that been like for you to allow yourself to feel in this process?
It has been very complex for me, and I think it's because I had always been fearful of being very vulnerable in feeling feelings. I've always wanted to operate in just a logical, rational sense where I don't want to mix feelings into the equation. And although that might sound irrational as I'm saying that out loud, I am being very vulnerable
No,
and
I get
sharing
it.
exactly what I feel and what it does to me. I never liked crying. That wasn't
Mm,
something that I enjoyed doing. But in this process, I have been more open to just experiencing tears and just being,
mm-hmm,
and allowing the feelings to process and go through me, and being intentional with letting them out. I
mm-hmm,
do have to do a better job though, and this is just self-reflection, of not allowing so much to pile up for me to release, right?
mm-hmm,
But that process is happening to where I am thinking about my emotions, and I'm letting them out and not trying to participate in any self-destructing behaviors or self-sabotaging behaviors that would cause a conflict with what my goals and what my intentions are.
mm-hmm. When you said that you didn't like to cry, is that since you've been a child?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you allowed to cry?
I wouldn't say that I wasn't allowed, but it was something that I don't think a lot of space was held for it.
Okay.
So it would be something that I felt would be disregarded at times.
Okay. Did you have to like go do it privately, or like let's say you had a bad day and you were crying or upset. How was that treated? Like what would be said?
It would be the toxic positivity type of vibe where you had a bad day, thank God that you're still here type vibe. And that's where I would self isolate and
Mm,
self soothe myself because I knew that I wasn't gonna get the comfort that I felt that I needed in that moment.
mm. I asked that because I wasn't allowed to cry. That wasn't even when I was getting my ass beat, I still wasn't allowed to cry. Crying wasn't welcome in my home. I was only allowed to be happy and to display happiness. So it was very interesting when I started learning how to feel. So that's why when you were describing, like, I don't have time for feelings right now, or blah, 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 whatever, like, I relate to that deeply because that was my mantra. Like, I got stuff to do. I ain't got time for this. Like, put
Mm-hmm.
it in a box, put it on the shelf, and we'll deal with it later. Um, but as you said, you continue to stuff that down and continue to not acknowledge it. So then you are like almost doing these batch cries, if you will. And I think that can feel overwhelming because it's so much at one time as opposed to processing and dealing with the individual things.
Yeah. I feel now that I'm going through this path where I'm very clear on my assignment. I have clarity on where I'm going, but there are some additional things that I have to release. And
Mm.
that is what I've been intentionally working on. I
Jesus.
have seen things on social media that have been posted by people that I love and care for that have broken me, that have broken my spirits, and now has had me question if I was truly loved in the first place.
Things about you?
So, in particular, what I'm referencing is so my ex wife had made a post on social media that, for Valentine's Day, that, she's single and she's not broke. And that broke me.
Mm.
And that broke me on so many different levels. One, there is a active trademark dispute that we're going to be talking about in just a moment that is hurting me financially. And on top of that, then the expenses of me moving across the state, on top of supporting political careers, and then thinking that there was going to be reciprocity at the end, and then
Mm.
now the ball is dropped and now it's all on me. And I just don't find some of the stuff on social media funny. I find it hurtful.
Mm. Do you
And
think it was intended to be a joke?
so
Intended.
I don't know. The amount of crying and laughing emojis indicates to me that there might have been something funny, but I don't think that anything about that is funny, particularly
Mm-hmm.
the phone calls that I get from her family members on a daily basis.
Mm.
So I'm just at a point where releasing some of those feelings to where like I very transparent. Like I had an issue with like just not like going to her page and seeing what she's posting. Like grieving that relationship
Yeah,
is tough. Like going through divorce recovery is a real thing. Having
it is.
therapy and psychologists working with me to now where I'm off antidepressant medications. I'm so proud of myself.
That's dope. Yeah.
But the journey is tough, and I know that there's people out there because they're in my inbox
Mm-hmm.
where they've gone through a relationship where it doesn't work out anymore. They're no longer in alignment, and the grief process that they have to go through to unlearn, hey, I there's something that they like and I usually would get it for them, and I can't do it anymore because we're not
Mm-hmm.
together, or this is a show that we used to watch together, and now we
Mm-hmm.
don't watch it. Like, that's grief. That's
Yeah.
real grief. And so it is, for me being vulnerable and sharing this is letting folks know that it's okay not to be okay,
Mm-hmm.
because I was not okay for quite some time. And to have this clarity, to be at this place where I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I need to do, but I just need to release some more things. That's growth for me. Not posting a whole bunch of receipts on the internet because of things that got back to me. That's growth for me. Okay. So I am just very blessed in this time of dealing with the ups and downs with grief and being vulnerable about my healing journey, because people are going to people.
Yeah.
But self-care, and there's a quote that I wanted to talk about and highlight, and
Okay.
it's the journey of healing, and self-love is the greatest medicine. Like, when I tell you I love me,
Mm-hmm.
I love me, and I want people to love them too.
Yeah. It's interesting that you highlighted that quote because I was talking to my psychologist this past week, and what I can say about her is she definitely be on it. Okay. In the moment though, I don't always be trying to hear it. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, sis. But what she had said to me the other day, and I had made a post about it on my Facebook page because a lot of people are under the impression that I am running away from things, people, circumstances, blah, 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 whatever. And when we were talking about it, I was like, I am running towards things. I'm running towards healing, and I'm running towards peace, and I'm running towards joy and rainbows and things that
Yeah.
make me happy. And she said to me, "You're running towards you."
Mm.
She was like, "You're running towards you, and you're running towards learning how to love you." Because this is the thing. And again, my cousin and I were talking about this earlier because she's also on this same type of journey. And side notes, we do have a new podcast that's going to be coming out on February 21st called
Yes,
So You Don't Put
indeed.
Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. But anyway, so we were talking about this process of being in our 40s and really discovering that maybe the person that we were in the first part of our life was not really the real us. It was the person that we thought we had to be, or that people told us we had to be, or the person that we had to become in order to remain safe in certain environments, whether that was in a professional environment, whether that was in home, whether that was in relationships, what have you. And it's been really interesting to decide not to really worry about what somebody else thinks and who they think that I am, and to really spend time with myself to
Mm.
understand who I really am outside of all those boxes, right, that I was stuffed into. Um, and learning how to love that person
Mhm.
because I'm just meeting that person. And that's why I named my vlog Hi, I'm Kim, because it's like, who is Kim? Like, who is this person, right? And I definitely think that there were elements of myself that were true, of course, you know, like certain core values and such. But, like, for instance, I used to be very much a planner. Everything was like structured out, bada bing, bada boom. Like, we got a time on task, we got an agenda.
Yes, indeed.
And at this place in my life, I don't really plan like that. Like, I understand that there are certain things that I have to do, but outside of the times of things that I have to do, I often just choose to allow my day to unfold. And whether, you know, looking for messages like you mentioned, whether those are angel numbers or songs or something on Instagram, and just allowing my brain and my spirit to go wherever it desires to go. And that is like different for me, to exist in that space and not feeling like I have to control everything. Because what I realized is, in all of my planning, it was me trying to control, because I didn't want to leave anything to chance, because people had done things to me when stuff was left to chance. So my way to be able to
Mm.
control that was, let me plan it out, let me structure it, let me make sure that I have, you know, these every I dotted, every T crossed. Like, y'all ain't about to catch me slipping. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. And it's very interesting to release that and surrender control to God and really allow God to
Ooh.
do what God wants to do, you know?
Mm. We need to get some shouting music added to the soundboard. Yes, indeed.
What did that move in your spirit?
So much. Like releasing control and just being
Mm-hmm.
like that, period. Um, just being, no people pleasing, no trying to fit in spaces that you don't fit in a line, saying no, and that being a complete sentence, and that be that, like not having the need to over explain yourself and try to compromise in things that you really don't want to compromise in,
Mm-hmm.
like the freedom of just being able to wake up and set your day is such a privilege and such a freedom, and that is amazing.
Yeah. It's something I'm trying to get back, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's especially like thinking about, I'm the type of person, when my routines get disrupted, it takes a really, really long time for me to get back on track. I do need structure, you know. And it's not really like the time of day. Like, I stopped calling my morning routine a morning routine, because sometimes I don't do it in the morning. I call it a start the day routine, right? So if I start my day at 4 p.m., then that's when I'm starting. And these are the things that I'm doing. So learning how to give myself grace in that has been a process, because what I would do at first is I would be like, why you can't get your shit together? Like, get up. What is wrong with you? You know, and I'm saying all these horrible things to myself, but that's not creating this optimal condition for me to now all of a sudden be like, oh, I want to be, you know, real productive and amazing. Like, all it's doing is making me feel worse about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So the boundaries and the because that's what it is, like the ability to say no and like all that, that's boundaries, right? But what I am coming to, I guess, accept and continue to check myself on is that this is a constant process. You know, it's not a destination. Like, you know, like, you got your boundary certificate, you did that shit, you know. It's like, that's not what this is, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
you might have
yeah.
conquered it in one context, and then you get another context, and it's like, now you got to use what you did last time to learn, you know, the new thing or whatever. So I've really been
Mm.
trying to be very intentional about honoring that. So I want to put that into the context of me leaving Mexico. Okay. So let me just say, for any of y'all that may be kind of joining here and not really knowing where I've been. So I went to Mexico. I left Colombia. I was living in Medellin, Colombia, and I left Colombia and went to Mexico in December, early December, because I had a friend, and insert all the air quotes here, who was like, you can stay with me. Basically, I had shared with her that life was kicking my ass and I really needed to do something. So she was like, you can stay here. Bet. So I pack my stuff and I go to Mexico, which I needed to go anyway because I had to get my braces off. Right. So I already would have had to go, and this allowed me to be there. And I had a whole bunch of appointments and all of that that I technically would have had to fly back and forth for. So it made sense, like, for me to be there. Right. So I'm staying with my friend, again, insert air quotes. And it was stuff that was happening from like the very first day that I got there. And I don't even remember if I told you this, that I was washing my hands in the bathroom in the sink, and the water was like scalding hot. Right. So I had said to her, hey, I think when the plumber came to fix the hot water heater, I think he turned off the cold water. So the water is only hot coming out of the sink. And she was like, yeah, they told me that. And I was like, you you did not want to share this information with me? Like, this is weird, but I'm like, okay, I just kind of took note, right? I had also shared with her that I have OCD and it is really triggered by bathrooms and things about bathrooms. Like, bathrooms have just never been safe for me in my life. And despite that, I had told her that the shower was um, not draining properly. So, like, can we fix that? And she never did. Like, she never did. Like, she never did. So I was noticing and peeping stuff like that. And things just continue to escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate to the point that I feared for my safety. I walked out of the room one day when we were meeting, and the entire apartment was filled with gas. And I know that I didn't do it. So then I'm like, what is happening here? Without wanting to be accusatory, but in the same token, like, I know that I didn't do that. So if it was a honest mistake, okay, but like, what is happening here with all of the other things that were going on? So I wound up leaving and going to a hotel. And I wound up deciding that I was going to go to a hotel. So that all happened on a Monday. That Tuesday is when I was going to go to the hotel. So I am, packing up my stuff and getting ready to go. I'm not saying anything to her because I don't owe her that explanation. And I had said that I was going to leave at the end of the month. So that Tuesday, I want to say, was like the 30th. And she sent me a message and was like, what time you leaving tomorrow? And I'm like, is there a time you need me to be gone? By 4 o'clock. Okay, I'll absolutely make sure I honor your request, right? So I leave, I go to the hotel. I come back the next day, which is Wednesday, to get the rest of my things. And she had taken all my stuff and put it into a pile. And I got there at like 1:30, 2 o'clock. So this is before the time that you asked me to be gone. Why are you touching my shit? And you know me, Bianca. It's not too often that you hear me say things like, fuck that bitch. You don't really hear me say shit like that too often. You know what I mean? Like, now, my former life, back in the day before you knew me, I used to be like that, like, baby. Like, listen to me.
Oh,
You get,
hell
oh, yeah.
no.
Oh hell yes. I used to. Did I tell you that my job in middle school used to be to cuss people out?
No.
Yeah, girl. So all of my friends used to fight, right? And I was like, what I'm not about to do is be fighting. But what I will do is I'll contribute these cuss words to the situation. You know what I mean? So sometimes they would put me in first, because I would go in, I try to cuss them out. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it didn't. But after that, I had to go home because my mama was crazy. So I was like, I can't fight, or not that I can't, I'm not gonna fight because that's gonna delay me from getting home. And I got to go home because my mama crazy. So I would go in and I would just cuss everybody out. You mother, or I was rattling them off. You hear me? I was stringing them together. Okay. I haven't done that in a really long time, and I haven't felt the need to do that in a really long time until this situation.
Mm.
And I was very proud of myself that I did not cuss her out and I did not put my hands on her, but I really wanted to because the spirit that she was operating out of was so evil and I just didn't understand it. So then I was talking to another friend, a mutual friend of ours and of me and hers, and he was like, "I need you to properly process what just happened." And he was like, "You just dealt with someone who was extremely passive aggressive and who weaponized that passive aggression against you, gaslit you, and treated you as if you were shit. And I
Mm.
need you to honor that."
Mm.
Because again, the toxic positivity would say, "All right, keep it pushing. I'm out of there. Okay, we ain't got to, it's fine, it's whatever."
Mhm.
And I really had to like hold space for that for myself and hold space for this friendship that I thought I had because I'm not understanding what is going on, you know? And as I was processing that, what I really thought about was how God will create or allow, I don't think that's God creating, that's incorrect. I think that God will allow certain things to happen to cause us to move because without that, we won't do it. So if I know, and I knew that my spirit was calling back to Colombia, like I knew that I appreciate Mexico City and there are things about Mexico City that I really like. But I also knew that that wasn't where I'm supposed to be. That's not where I'm supposed to stay. But I had actually started, it's so wild. I'm actually sitting here putting this together right now. Because you remember MMA fighter, right? That I
Mhm.
had met that I went out with on Christmas, and I had actually considered what would it be like for me to stay an extra month and kind of just hang out and all of that. Like I was actually considering that, and then God was like, take his ass out of here, take him out of here,
Mhm.
take old girl out of here, because I need you to go where I told you to go, and I need you to do what I told you to do. So I really think that that was one of the reasons. The other reason was the spirit that she was operating out of was very similar to my mother's spirit. And when everything happened in October, and I had written the letter to my family and all that, and I was like, I can't come back to the US because they wanted me to come back to New Orleans. And I was like, I just can't do that right now. I feel like God was like, I still need you to conquer this spirit because the trauma that I am still continuously unpacking about how my upbringing colored the way that I look at the world and the way that I deal with people and like all that kind of stuff. It was necessary for me to confront that because I had to show up for myself. Because what would usually happen to me is I would shrink. And I did that when I first got there. And I would be like, I'm going to just try to be quiet. I'm going to just try to be out the way. I'm going to just try to be small so that I don't cause any problems. I just, make sure that, I just need to be grateful, because I'm here and I have somewhere to lay my head. And what our friend had said to me, he was like, for someone to treat you that way at a time in your life where you are basically homeless and trying to figure things out, for someone to treat you that way, that was not a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Gretchen's comment. She said friends of seasons, lessons in life, and some are lifetime friendships. I do believe that there was a reason that she was placed into my life for that time, for that purpose. And after that, she had to show her ass so that she could be removed completely, because her purpose was to provide that place for me so that I could confront that spirit, learn how to stand up for myself, be able to get what I needed to get done in Mexico so that I was able to transition without feeling like I needed to go back, or there were ties, or there were things that were holding me there. It was really like, no, you need to go ahead and release this. And the amount of tears that I cried behind that, but I'm glad that I was able to,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember before I left Colombia to go to Mexico, I was talking about how I couldn't feel. And it was weird for me to not be able to feel when I had started learning how to feel. So it was traumatic. There's not another label to put on it. It was definitely traumatic, but I'm not gonna say but. It was traumatic, and I can see the purpose in it at the same time. And I am grateful that God provided me even the means to be able to get myself back here. Because remember, I told you I had found that bank account, savings account that I didn't even know about. That money was automatically being transferred into, and I completely forgot about it. So me even being able to find that, to be able to support myself to get out of that situation and not feeling like I was stuck and helpless like I did when I was a child.
Mm. Yeah. I remember you sharing about the account and just you feeling like a weight has been lifted from your shoulders because it was a lot of pressure at that time that you were holding. And so, like, to see you now on the other side of this in a completely different country, frolicking, like exploring with you today while you're out and about, like, I am so happy that you are in a better environment and that you have this opportunity for a reset and a fresh start in this new location where you can set your terms and your
Yeah,
rules as you see fit. So I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it. I also want to say it was exhausting, because doing the right thing is exhausting. You understands me?
Bruh.
It is exhausting.
Yes.
I really be wishing sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, why I be wanting to do the right thing? Because I promise, if I could just flip a switch in my head and just knock a bitch out right quick, like everything will be fine. Everything will be totally fine. So then it's like, but I'm not supposed to do that. But this is exhausting, doing the right thing all the damn time. Ugh, it is exhausting. And I know that you get that, because I want you to talk about what has been going on with this trademark situation that we have been in, where we have done all the right things.
All the right things.
And I know, and she said we can't be locked up abroad, sis. I know, girl. That's the only thing that kept my hands in my pockets, girl. Is I was like, I can't be locked up abroad. I got shit to do. It's the
Oh,
only thing, Jesus. But yeah, can you feel in the people voice verbalized? You introduced yourself as the founder of Teaching for the Culture. And it's been a lot that's been going on since when did this start? Was it 2021?
so this started, at least the legal obstacles started in 22 officially.
Was it
Um,
22? Okay. Because 21, October 21. Okay, 22.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was, and it was at the very beginning of the year because we sent the organization a cease and desist in February of 2022. So, um, y'all, when I tell you we need your support and we need your help and we need the community at this vital moment. I want to tell you that we need support to protect our trademark rights. I want to let you know that there is an organization that was created after Teaching for the Culture that has called themselves Teach for the Culture. And the only thing that is the difference is an ing. This organization has rebranded their Instagram page and has bought followers allegedly where their engagement is less than 1%. They are alleging and claiming that they have first use and rights to our trademark and have been submitting fraudulent and incomplete information and has been wasting our attorney and our time and resources. This organization has submitted trademark applications to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, in which all of those applications were denied due to the pre existing mark, our organization Teaching for the Culture. In fact, when the founder of Teach for the Culture went to solicit an attorney after being served a cease and desist, the letter from the attorney even states that
Hmm.
there would be a conflict with going after this because of the pre existing mark of our organization, Teaching for the Culture. They have not provided sufficient evidence and have been very invasive during this discovery process. And our legal counsel is tired and frustrated with the way that this has been carried out. We are now forced with this daunting task of defending our trademark rights in court, which is going to take significant legal fees. The fact that we are even going through this process is really mind boggling, but I have been dealing with this personally since my open heart surgery of trying to compile information to get our trademark in the beginning. And then we, as an organization, have been going back and forth and having meetings with our attorney about this particular matter. And so we are a grassroots organization and we're here to promote equity in education and advocating for change. And this is a burden to our resources and our time and our energy. And so we need your support. We need to amplify this message. We need to get dollars to support our attorney and making sure that those legal fees are covered. But also, on top of that, this is a really great lesson about trademark rights and protection. We do believe that this is going to be a case study that's going to be used in law books moving forward because of how this case is. I know Kimberlyn has been right along with me in these meetings, and I'm sure she has so much to add to it. So I'm just going to pivot to her so that she can color the rest of this in for you, because this is a very serious matter. This is something that has been adding stress and anxiety to all of us because we do the work on the ground, not just posting quotes and taking content on TikTok for social media. It is bigger than us. Okay. So, Kimberlyn, help me color this in for
I'm
the
laughing
people.
because you were like, I know you want to color this in, because I was just like, as soon as she finished, I got some shit I need to say. No, I want to summarize this just to make it very easy to understand, right? Teaching for the Culture is our organization founded by Bianca Goolsby, sitting there. Okay. Teaching for the Culture has been working in the community since 2019, right? um Raising money for school supplies, helping teachers, advocating for children, sitting in IEP meetings, meeting with people to help give voice to situations, writing articles, being involved with the school board, like impacting policy, right? Teaching for the Culture has been doing all that. Teaching for the Culture has a legitimate trademark that was paid for, filed, approved, in is in there. Is at the office, okay? And the organization Teach for the Culture is actively fabricating information, actively wasting time, money, resources, energy, and stuff. And what is so interesting about it is when it first started, like Bianca and I were like, let us sell her t-shirts. It's fine. She could sell her t-shirts. No problem. We just want to make sure that our trademark is honored. Let her sell her t-shirts. And then to the point of the exhaustion of doing the right thing, realizing that you're dealing with someone who integrity, it might not necessarily be all intact. um, for someone who is willing to fabricate documents, fabricate information, change information in order to make it look like something else, that is not integrous behavior. And what it is causing is for us to then have to expend our resources to fight someone who is committed to not being honest. And that is exhausting. And frankly, it's mighty fucked up, for the lack of a better way to say it, because we know that we have impacted you all. We know that we've impacted the community. We know that we have been doing this work. Um, and we know that we have legitimate rights for this trademark that was already approved. Um, And I think for me, I told you this, like I'm just frustrated because you mentioned it earlier with the situation earlier with your ex. Is like I get frustrated because I get tired of you feeling like you have to take the L. And I'ma just be the bigger person and I'ma just take the L. And I get tired of it, honestly. I really just be like, fuck that L. I need you to know, but at the same time, understanding the amount of energy that it takes to continuously pursue and defend and pull up documentation and receipts, right? Y'all know people lie, receipts don't, right? That's Bianca's thing. She's been saying this since forever. Um, And you know what's so funny is you remember when we first met, when you did, come on, show the people the thing. Yeah, people lie, receipts don't, unless you alter the screenshots, unless you alter the documentation, right? So it's like that kind of stuff. I just, I do not like. I do not like, and it is very frustrating for me because I know that Teaching for the Culture was birthed out of your trauma that you experienced being a teacher. And it really has evolved into something so beautiful that we've been able to make this impact internationally. You know, like you said, this is bigger than sharing quotes on Instagram, and we was in the real world. Like, we wasn't like on the internet. Like, we was in the real world, actually helping the real people, like actual advocacy work. So it's frustrating to me, and it's frustrating that we would be in a situation of having to exhaust our resources to chase down a lie. It really pisses me off. And that is a grief process of, because it just, I just feel like, this is Kim speaking. I feel like there is like no win. Like, what am I supposed to do? I did the right thing. I had everything lined up. I did what I was supposed to do. Like, I honored all the things, and then somebody could just come along with a lie, and just, now I got to figure out how to pay for their lie. Like, this is wild. You know, and it really makes me upset. So I wanted to color that because I want you all to understand, when Bianca says, we need your help, we need your support, we need you to share this, we need you to talk about this, we need you to let us know if, we have supported you or done anything to help you, showed up for you, giving you something. We need that type of support, because what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. I get emotional just even talking about this. As you said, the creation of this was due to what I experienced in the classroom and my promise to the students in 410 that this was going to be better, and wanting to honor my commitment in that. And there were so many other ways that this could have been
Yeah,
handled and could have been addressed, and I'm thankful and still going to count my blessings in it that this is going to be something that will be talked about. Because if we're looking at just names of the organizations, the only difference is an ing. If you look at the state records in the state of Florida, our business was registered before her business in the state of Connecticut. If you look at just the facts of the matter, it's just really sad to see how people will want to just double down on their incorrectness, and at the same time carrying that expense. I already shared in the beginning how I was triggered by seeing some on social media that I shouldn't have seen in the first place, which is why I posted today to stop looking back and going forward, because I can't keep looking back there. I have to go forward. And in that going forward, I'm thankful that she even told me to go ahead and get this trademark together to protect this name. And I'm grateful for that legal advice and that direction and push to do it. Everything happens for a reason.
yeah,
But I am saying to you, community, that we need your support, And for the parents, where I've attended your IEP meetings, to the school board members, where we've supported your campaign and interviewed you, to the community members, where if you had an issue in the classroom or outside the classroom and we've made a phone call on your behalf, we all of these people have to come together for us, please. I am asking you for the support and the help, and I rarely ask for it. I actually have difficulty asking for help, but this is a time where I'm asking for help because I am tapped out and I'm tired, and I'm grateful for the other co-founders that help keep me uplifted in this, because it is demoralizing all of this work and then not wanting to put anything else out
Right.
because you feel like it could be all just taken away based on a lie.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
hurts.
It does. It really does. And I'm wondering, just kind of coming full circle, you had mentioned earlier that you were taking off your antidepressants. And I'm wondering what that has been like because I'm still on mine, right? Because I was having a lot of I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of shit going on right now. And I knew that I needed to get to a stable place, my own place where I'm able to, have my routines and have peace and quiet and like all that kind of stuff. How has it been for you being off medication, but still having things coming at you left and right? Like, what is that process that you're going through to process that?
That's a really good question. So the medication made me feel very numb. I think I had
Mm.
shared that in maybe episode 0 or 1 when we
Yeah.
first started, and I didn't like that feeling. Now I am empowered with the help of my new therapist and my psychologist of just taking moments of mindfulness. I actually wrote an article that will be published in the Watermark very, very soon, and it's titled Pain to Purpose. And so accepting the reality was the first step. So I'm accepting that this situation is awful, and I am just focusing on what I can intentionally do, and everything else I have to release it. And then the next thing is practicing self-compassion,
I
when
have
I'm
a
telling
question
you.
though. I have a question though.
Mhm.
Because you're saying I have to release it. I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes it be kind of difficult. So what process do you use when you are releasing something? How do you go about that process of actually letting it go?
So it depends on the weight of it, but um listening to music, going out, working out, definitely writing in my journal and being like, I'm documenting this, and I've documented this, and I'm letting it go. Um I I really am like still trying to determine also like what works best for me, because I don't have an answer that is concrete, consistent, to be like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that I have been doing lately to help me. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a 100% answer of what works all the time, because I still have it. I was just sharing earlier about how there's things that I'm having issues with releasing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a journey and a process, and so I'm transparent with my struggles, but listening to music, journaling, working out, doing something that brings me joy, that helps.
I'm wondering if it will help again back to what we were talking about earlier with the feeling, if you can also incorporate time to actually allow yourself to feel those feelings. And this is just me. I also do not have the master plan, okay, at all. But what I've tried to start doing is when I feel something, I allow that regardless, even if it don't even matter if I'm talking to somebody like at the time, because what I would do is I would try to like suck it up, so I could get through the message. And, I don't want my message to get lost in my emotions and all that kind of stuff. But actually, like, allowing those feelings to come, and not just the sad ones either, right? Because sometimes, like I told you, sometimes I be like, right? And but that, like, that
Yeah.
righteous indignation of being angry because you have every right to be angry, and allowing yourself to feel that, and not feeling like you have to talk yourself out of it. Because that's
Mhm.
what I would do. I don't know about you, but that's what I would do. I would be like, okay, so you're not supposed to be angry. You're supposed to, get it together and take the high road and all of that. But sometimes you have to allow, because what happens is it doesn't move through you, it stays there. And then we have what you talked about earlier. Everything is all built up. So now when you do allow yourself to feel, now you really consumed by it because it's 17 things that done happen.
Yes.
Whereas if I can create space for me to feel whatever I feel in this moment, and process that in this moment, then that will help me to release those feelings and actually release the situation.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm giggling because of the comment in the comments from Sequoia, and said that she be telling me that,
Mm,
and we literally had a conversation. I was just in Atlanta, and I was laying in her couch crying, okay, and
mm,
just saying how sometimes I just don't want to feel feelings, and it bottles up, and then I have to release it. I actually have the book that she let me borrow right here, called Trust,
mm,
and working on the element of trusting again,
mm,
because dealing with the type of betrayal that I've dealt with in particular is just mind blowing, and
mm.
I don't want to rehash or recap. It's traumatic enough, but to just trust again after all of that, like that, this is some really really intentional hard work,
Yeah,
and so I, I don't have all the answers, but what I do know is that we have taken this pledge for the Teaching for the Culture. We have a whole pledge where we are showing up to be our best selves, and that we are here to be survivors, and we're going to use our stories to make the world a better place, and we're going to honor the three keys: accountability, transparency, and integrity. And that's all I got, and I'm gonna
yeah.
give it my best every single day. And I have to, because of my heart condition, because of
Mm,
what I'm currently dealing with. That some people don't even know the updates to my health status and what I'm going through. And some of that has been exacerbated due to this situation.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Okay, so releasing through
Mm-hmm.
various methods, and then I had cut you off. You were about to tell us more about, I think, what's in your article.
Yeah, yeah. So the article Pain to Purpose. So um the next thing that I wanted to share was mindfulness, and being intentional with what we are programming. So I talked about the inner critic and the inner gremlin that I swore had a megaphone that was real loud to say, Bianca, you can't do this, you can't do that, you need to be quiet, you need to shrink, you need to be small. And it was one day, Kimberly, and I remember you was like, Bianca, I think you need to remember who you are.
I sure did.
I need you to remember who you are. And I really had to sit and think about that thing. And this is a period of selflessness for me. Like really stepping into me, really finding me, what that looks like for me now, cuz it's different than what I thought it was, and just really enjoying this journey of just finding this purpose, counting my blessings, because I just thank God that I'm in a stable environment, that it's not so much overhead of where I'm staying at, so that I can save money and recoup from all the money that I've poured into other people's aspirations and
Bruh,
dreams. And now it's time for me to put that into me
bruh.
and to take care of my dreams and the things that I want, and seeking support, When I tell you the village comes through, the village has came through. When I needed to move out quickly, they came in vans and trucks, baby. They came out just to help me. The village, when I have any type of breakdown, I thank you, Kimberlyn. Thank you for being a part of my village. I don't know where I would be without you, girl. And I tell you this often. There are some people that are watching on live. Sequoia, she's watching. She's here. Literally was crying on little baby couch in Atlanta. I thank God for her. And I thank God for the rest of the community that pours into me and gives me love. And I'm telling this to folks that if you don't have a village, please go and find it.
Facts.
Please do. And there's a village here. Come on, we'll love on you.
Facts.
Welcome here to Life Unfiltered. Heal that shit, because that's what we have to do. Heal it. And then discovering your purpose. So in this journey, I now I'm very clear what my assignment is. Very, very clear on my assignment, and that is to make the world a better place and to help our children be safe online.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been very adamant about that. I appreciate the flowers that I received during a panel discussion where we had conversations about social media, and everyone at the round table was like, "Thank you, Bianca, for all the work that you do to advocating on keeping our children safe online." That means something to me. And I
Yeah.
was just crying last episode, worried about what my legacy would be if when I leave here. And I'll end with self-care. That's something that I'm gonna always stress is I'm taking care of me. I have more weight to lose, and I have more goals to meet, and there's just so much that God has for me, and he continues to remind me, but I can no longer be distracted, and I can't align with people and things that are in any type of interference with what God is guiding me on. And I'm thankful for the vision to be able to see that. So the article will be coming out soon, and I can't wait to share it with y'all. But that's the things that I've been working on in this journey of removing myself from the feeling that I had that I was broken,
Mm-hmm.
and getting off this medication that made me feel numb and worthless.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at a place to where I can function without it, and I'm grateful to God that if I ever do need it, I have a team, a village of folks that can support me and know that that's a tool that will always be in my tool belt if I ever need it again.
Yeah. It definitely is a lot of this process is like building coping strategies. So I just thought about something a moment ago because the it might help like with the movement and the processing of emotions. It's called I just forgot what it's called. It's called like somatic. It's a somatic practice, right? So somatic means body. So I want to say it's called somatic movement. Maybe it's what it's called. But basically, it's different things like jumping, and releasing energy like that. Or one of my favorite things to do is, and this was by my therapist, who is absolutely amazing, is to push a wall. So you push the wall with all your might, like you're trying to move it. And then you push it so hard that your body starts to shake, and then you shake out that energy and like reevaluate and determine if you still, and it's really good for me for like anxious energy. um and it's crazy because I would have to do it before I would go and take a shower at the place in Mexico City. Because again, bathrooms don't feel safe for me. So I would have to like it's almost like, you know how you might not watch football, but if you've ever seen football players before the game and they like and they just. But it looks like it doesn't serve a purpose, but it really does, because it really helps to move that energy in and through your body.
Hmm.
Um, and out of your body, so that you don't have to hold on to it and it just festers. um so I wanted to say that, because I think that that might come in handy. You might need that. um the other thing that I wanted to say was, or maybe it's a question. I think it's a question. So my question is, you mentioned self-care and what that, I'm interested in what your self-care routine looks like, because I'm very aware of having been talking about self-care for so long, and it's something we used to talk about all the time with Beautiful Brown Girls, is that a lot of people romanticize self-care and they make it all about pedicures and spa days and all of that. So I'm really interested in what your self-care practices are right now, as you are recognizing what you need.
So, what I need is being very intentional with the energies that I interact with.
Mm,
So, self care is having my phone on Do Not Disturb.
mm,
Self care is being like, nope, I'm only going to check my emails at this time and at this time today, and that's it. Self care is being like, okay, so I see this call coming in. I might not want to answer this or entertain this today. So let me regroup, send them a message, and tell them that I'll follow up with them when I have the space to. It's really for me minimizing my contact with
mm-hmm,
people in energy right now, and really just focusing on my energy, how I feel, and not consuming a whole bunch of other things. Same thing with TV and other mediums and streams of content. I'm very intentional with what type of content I am watching and listening to. So if it's not an audiobook, if I'm not reading a book, like I'm not consumed with what Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I'm not consumed with all and it's also me getting my sleep. So it is me being like, yep, okay, so the time is now 10 p.m. My watch says it is time to go to bed, and I am out. I'm about to get all of my hours in because I deserve.
mm, mm. I wonder if my brain people heard that message, because baby, they be partying at night. You hear me? Do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I wanted to know that. So I think for me, my self-care practices right now kind of align with that. I saw something maybe on Instagram somewhere. I saw something somewhere, and it was like, you have to understand that access to you is it's like it's valuable. It's prime for someone to have direct access. And I think there are times that I don't realize how many people pull on me for things.
Mm-hmm.
um just because of who I am and because of how I show up, and being a life coach and having wisdom and all the things. Because most of the time I don't mind it per se. Like, I don't ever mind like talking to somebody or having a conversation or what have you, if there's genuine interest. But I have been realizing and recognizing that there were certain people. That's what the word was I was looking for, Sequoia. Thank you. Privilege. Access to me is a privilege. Yes. um there were certain people that had access to me that did not deserve access to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
what would happen is I would feel guilty when I knew that I didn't want to interact with those people. Um, so I would feel guilty, right? I was called selfish a lot when I was a child. So it's like I have to constantly fight that of, am I being selfish right now? And then I just made a decision, I'm gonna be selfish. I'm going to be selfish.
Yeah.
And self care is not selfish, but I am going to be selfish in the sense of I am going to worry about me. I am going to worry about me. And enough crises have happened in my life this past year for me to also realize that I needed to do some um changes in that access, right? So like I think I had told you about my friend that's the TikTok DJ right now. And we were finally able to have a conversation. And that conversation was very jarring for me because he came at me real fucked up, like very much from a place of guilt. Like he felt bad about how he had not shown up for me, but he directed that energy towards me as if I had done something to him. And it really, when I confronted it, or when I was like experiencing the energy, I was just so confused and I was crying and I was like, I just don't understand. But it got to the point where he was like, you know what? It's not you. It's not you. He was like, you are not the problem. It's me. I am the problem. I have not been a good friend. I have not honored the access that I have to you. I have not honored your heart. And I am the problem. And I appreciated that moment of self awareness. And it was so crazy because it came on the heels of a conversation that I had had with my psychologist about people feeling like they can just throw me away and just be like, oh, well, yeah, whatever, fuck her. And I just never understood it because I don't treat people that way. But it allowed me to release it in a way to say, okay, your access is done. And I can really let that go, right? I don't have to, even have a desire to check to see if you on TikTok and what you might be talking about and all of that. Like to actually really release it and to let it go, you know? Um, so that access piece has been really big for me as well, and really accepting that everybody does not deserve access to me because everybody is not going to treat us the way that we deserve to be treated, you
Mm.
know. Kalanda said, if you aren't selfish about you, then who will be?
Yes,
No damn
indeed.
body. That's who, because they worried about them.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm sitting here, I'm worried about you, but you worried about you. Who the hell worried about me?
Right.
Who is worrying about me? You
Right.
know? So it's really my psychologist keeps saying to me, she's like, I need you to focus on you and to love you and to be there for you. To show up for yourself in the way that you have been showing up for other people.
Yes.
And that was such a realization for me because I didn't realize how much I was ignoring myself and what I needed, because I do have a giving spirit and I do want to be there for other people and I do want to support other people, but I have to make sure that I'm okay. Like it's like we say it all the time. You can't pour from an empty cup. Like you know what I mean? Like we say
Right.
those
Mm-hmm.
things and they become very cliche, but it's like, who is filling my cup if I'm not feeling it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This concept of intentional isolation, it goes back to what I said earlier. I'm not running from anything. I am running to the place that is going to allow me to be able to spend time with me, be at peace with myself, be okay with myself, understand who I am, so that I don't feel like I have to wait on somebody else to do shit that I want to do. That I have to wait on somebody else to experience joy. That I have to wait on somebody else to do whatever. It's like I don't. I don't have to wait on anyone. I can actually show up for myself. And I feel like that's been the biggest part of my healing journey is learning how to show up for myself, because I often would wait for people to show up for me, and the power that is found in showing up for myself has been really freeing, and showing up for the little me,
Yes.
you know
For little Kim.
um yeah. She told me, my psychologist is like, she's like, I need you to spend some time with little you. And she said, I think that she has the answers to the next thing that you need to do. She knows. And I was like, that is really something, because I believe that she does know. Because I remember myself as a child, and I remember, shit, I decided I was going to college at age 8. I was like, I'm out of here. College, you say, is the way? Let's do it. So I know that the core of me is really trying to get my attention. So all of the things that I keep saying right now are like, lean into joy, do things that make you happy, like, and that's why this whole coloring thing for me has become really cool, because I also noticed that the person that I was in Mexico City was very black and gray and dark. And the person I am in Colombia is very, very colorful. And that's what I want my life to be like. I want to experience that colorful joy, and the joy that really comes from deep down.
Yes. And with everything that you've been through, you deserve that joy. And I'm so glad that you are making those intentional steps to have that joy because you deserve it and worthy of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. So, anything else that's on your heart, mind, and spirit that you want to put out to the people?
For the people that are watching this live in the replay, I just want to extend my gratitude and say thank you that we are shifting into this new platform, this new Facebook page, and this new YouTube channel to have all the analytics point to this one direction for a very intentional purpose. And I thank you for liking and subscribing and following us as we do this journey. I just want to just end you with me sending my love and my light to you because life is lifing and things are happening out here. But I just want to say you're not alone, that we all have our own struggles that we're dealing with. And this is a village and a community over here. So if you need a safe space to lean on, here we are. We are two intuitive, melanated life coaches out here. We are out here just frolicking and might not have all the right answers, but at least one thing you know for sure is if we're going to approach you, it's going to be with the three keys, and that's accountability, transparency, and integrity. And that's a big step nowadays because nowadays people don't want to act integrous and people want to act like they can't be held accountable. Well, 2024 is here,
Yeah.
and it is time for people to be accountable. Enough is enough. And so, love on each other, and I love you and thank you for your support. And thank you, Kimberlyn, for encouraging me to do this journey with you on this platform in space because I was afraid to use my voice a while ago. And here I am ready to use my voice in so many impactful ways. And I just thank God for it. So thank y'all again and make sure y'all support what we're doing.
So real quick before we go, the heart work of the week is to spend some time with yourself. Spend some intentional time with yourself. One of the things that we know is that God is always talking, and sometimes we miss it because, like Bianca was saying earlier, we have so many inputs that are coming in about so many different things. So, the heart work this week is to release some of those distractions, whether that be putting your phone on do not disturb, or whether that be listening to music or journaling or taking some intentional time in the shower to really hear from God. Spend some time with yourself, the core of you, not the you that you have to be at work, the you that you have to be to your kids, the you that you have to be to your parents and everybody else. Spend some time with you and really thinking about what you need to pour back into you. Like Bianca said, we're on this journey together. We are really wanting to build this community. So please do make sure that you share this if there has been anything that we have said during this time that resonates with you and it makes you feel like you should share. A quick reminder of our emojis and the way that you can show us support specifically to us. So mine is crayons and sunflowers. So when you see me out and about in these virtual streets, feel free to support me by using crayons or sunflowers. And then Bianca's are. I love that it
The
does the
teddy
heart.
bear and the heart. Yes, indeed. Those are my emojis. Okay. We full of love here. And that's what we all about around here. Love
Yes,
is the highest frequency.
it really is, and love is hard. It's an intentional. That's an intentional choice to continue to love folks. So you want to tell the people where they can find you outside of this space?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on my website,
I was
www.biancagoolsby.com.
like, your name.
Listen, I was like, did I do two W's or three?
Oh wait, Kalanda wanted to remind you of the fan. We got to add the fan to
Oh yes,
your.
indeed. Yes. I wish I
Yeah.
had my fan here so I can do the effect. But yes, we are going to be having merch soon. We ended up buying a amazing domain name that will have all of our previous episodes and links to all the things that we're doing. We even have healing resources that we're working on together. So yes, it is coming. Buckle up. It's going to be a great time. But you can find me at www.biancagoolsby.com.
And you can find me at Minding My Black Ass Business on all platforms. So, also, y'all, next week is my birthday.
Yes, indeed.
I don't have not near piece of a plan either. Not a piece of a plan, but baby, whatever I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be doing it, okay?
Yes,
Because your
indeed.
girl is turning 43. I'm excited. And you know what? I'm excited that I'm excited about my birthday because there was a time that I was like, if I could just make it to there, then we'll see
Mm.
what happens. So I'm excited that I'm excited about my birthday. So next week is my birthday. And then the week after that, we will be back with our next episode. So again, the hard work of the week, spend some intentional time with yourself. And I'm sure that we'll have a lot to report because baby God be out here moving. Okay. So we're gonna have a
Amen.
lot to update y'all on in 2 weeks. Please do again remember to support teaching for the culture. We'll get back to you all with more details about what that looks like in an actual plan, like what we need you to share, emails, like all that kind of stuff that we might need from you all, or letters for impact letters and all of that. So we will definitely get back to you all about that. But thank y'all for hanging out with us, and thank you, Bianca, for being willing, like you said, to take this journey with me. I know that it can feel like a lot to unpack our lives in front of the world that is here and the world that is coming. But I do believe that through this journey, we are really going to help a lot of people find their way back to themselves and their way to healing. So
Yes, indeed. Freedom and fulfillment, baby. And until next time.
I got a cute thing too.
Hey! Yes,
I
indeed.
didn't know it was gonna do that. Sorry. That brought me joy just now.
Is it gonna do it again?
I don't know. Yep, there it
Yes. Good
went. We
night,
so silly.
y'all.